for this problem, we're going to graph the linear equation 3x plus y equals -2 using the slope and the y-intercept. So at this point, this equation is in standard form. When we see the x and the y in the same side of the equal sign, it is in standard form. In order for us to be able to use the slope and the y-intercept, we want this equation in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is always the point on the y-axis. So whenever we see the value that takes place of b, that's going to be a point on the y-axis. And the slope tells us which direction to go from the initial point, which is going to be on the y-axis, from the y-intercept. In order for us to go from standard form to slope-intercept form, we need to solve for y. We need y by itself. So we start with 3x plus y equals -2. When I say that we need to solve for y, we need y by itself, and so we need to pay attention on what's going on the left side of the equal sign. I see y and I see a 3x. 3x is being added to y, so we got to get rid of 3x by using the opposite operation or the inverse operation. So if I have a positive 3x, I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides of the equation. These two cancel out, and I have y equals, well, these two terms are not like terms, so I cannot combine them. Remember also that we need the equation to be in this format. I want my slope and x first and then b. So I want whatever is with x first and then b. And I'm going to write them in that order. So we have -3x minus 2. Now that this equation is in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, I can easily identify my slope, which would be -3, and I can identify my y-intercept, which would be -2. So now I know my y-intercept is -2 and my slope is -3. So my initial point to graph, it's always going to be my y-intercept. That means that I have a point on the y-axis at -2. So we're going to plot a point at -2 on the y-axis, right there. Now from there, I'm going to use my slope to find the direction where to go to find the next point. If my slope is -3, remember that slope is rise over run. So I want it to be on that ratio. Because I have -3 as my slope, first of all, we can make this be a fraction by putting the -3 over 1, positive 1. Remember that fraction means division, so -3 divided by 1, it's still 3. And a negative divided by a positive, it's a negative overall value. My other option when I have a negative slope is that I can have a positive 3 divided by a -1. And again, this is still a negative value overall because positive 3 divided by -1, it's still -3. So then, if I choose my first option right here, that means that I'm going to go down 3 and 1 to the right. So let's do that. From our initial point over here, from -2, I'm going to go down 3, 1 to the right. 2, 3, 1 to the right. So there's my second point. If I choose to use this option, my second option, then that means that I need to go up 3 and 1 to the left again from my initial point or any point at this time. So let's start with our initial point and go up 3, 1 to the right to find our next point. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. So there's my other point. Now all I have to do is draw a straight line to connect those 3 points. And let's not forget our arrows after we draw our line. And we are done graphing.